The Torah tells us in the beginning of Parshas Bechukosai that if we follow the mitzvos, Hashem will reward us collectively as a people. And one of the rewards will be Va'achaltem lachmechem lasova, that we will eat our bread and we will be satiated. And Rashi explains, what does this mean? That a person will eat a little bit, and that small amount will end up satisfying the individual and they will no longer be hungry. So you won't need so much. We'll need only a little bit of food in order to make us feel satiated. The Beis Yisrael Zecher Tzadik Livrocha looked at these three words of Achaltem Lachmechem Lasova and suggested that maybe there is another angle as well in understanding what these words mean. And he said you have, for example, there are two different types of people or people with a level of affluence that are eating a meal. There's one person who does not have a lot, and this person has a small piece of fish. When this person cooks the fish, they make sure that there is as much gravy as possible. They're trying to get as much food out of this fish as possible. And in order to fill themselves, they're going to eat a lot of bread, and they'll dip their bread in gravy, and they'll become full from the bread more than they will become full from the actual dish of fish itself. And we contrast that with another person. This other person has a tremendous amount. Not only do they have fish in abundance, but they have chicken, they have meat, they have vegetables, they have potatoes, they have starch, all kinds of things. And this individual begins the meal with making the bracha of Hamotzi Lechem min haaretz and having a small piece of bread. And then the individual is busy eating all of their food. Finally, towards the end of the meal, this individual says, "Oh, I have to bench." And they realize when they have to bench that in order to bench, you had to have eaten a certain amount of bread. So they're already full, but they have to eat bread in order to bench. Says the Beis Yisrael, that's what the Torah means, the blessing of Achaltem Lachmechem Lasova, that you will eat your lechem, you will eat your bread when you were full. This individual is already full because of the abundance of food that he or she has. The fact that they are eating bread now just to be able to bench is because everything else was so plentiful. So they're not eating their bread as the foundation, the basis of their meal. They're only eating the bread for the purpose of being able to make a bracha after the meal. And that's the difference between one person and the other person. The true blessing, the true bracha, is when we are able to eat bread not as the base of our meal, but to be able to eat bread as part of our meal. The truth is that this idea really hits home for us in allowing us to appreciate the bracha, the blessing that Hashem gives us of being able to have food available to us. We live in an industrialized world where it doesn't take as much effort to make food as it did only a few short decades or centuries ago. And may we be zoche, may we merit to always recognize the bracha, the blessing that Hashem gives to us by having plentiful food in order to eat and being able to ensure that we are healthy and satiated on a regular basis. Thank you for listening and have a good Shabbos.